I'm Dr. Deb Butler, and you are listening to Thinner Peace in Menopause and Beyond. This is episode number 404. Welcome to Thinner Peace in Menopause and Beyond. This is Dr. Deb Butler, Master Life and Weight Coach, and as always, your coach. If you're a woman and you're smart and you're successful and you've been struggling with weight your whole life, and now menopause is making it harder than ever, and you are ready to make this the last time you ever have to go on a diet again, then this podcast is for you. Stay tuned. Hi, everybody, all my dear friends all over the world. How are you today? This is really my first podcast that I'm doing in the new year. As an experienced coach, which I am, I've been doing this for about 9 to 10 years now, and I've been exploring self-help in the mind for probably 30 to 40 years, and this is what I know for sure. Sometimes you just don't know. And I got to tell you that. Because I have a lot of clients and I have a lot of people, a lot of you who call me for mini sessions. And you know what your most common question to me is? Please tell me what to think. Because I know you know that if you create really great thinking, you can create a really great life. And if it was as easy as that all you really need is a coach to tell you your new thought, I'll tell you what, we would be done in about one session. But here's the thing, you have to realize and you have to be able to sit and feel with what you are thinking and what you are creating and really organically know that before anything can change. And that's what a lot of you really don't understand. I can tell when we do our mini sessions that you really want me to just tell you what to think. And I know with all my clients, they do. But here's what I know when I'm working intensively with somebody. Once someone really, really understands what they're thinking, really gets that what they're thinking is just a thought and not a fact about them, when they really see it, everything changes. And what I mean by everything changes is that's when your mind opens up to the possibility of choosing a different option. So thoughts are optional. All of them. Everyone you think about yourself is optional. But facts or circumstances are never optional. They are what they are. It is what it is. It is what is happening. It's reality. Reality is not your thoughts. Reality is a fact. Reality, such as today, the sky is blue. It's real. I'm looking at it. I can prove it in court. I can also tell you that it's winter. I could go to court with that because all we have to do is look outside and feel the temperature and we know it's winter. Now, here's where the choices lie, or the options lie. The options lie in what you want to think about that. That's where your options are. That's why all thoughts are optional. Even though for you, you think that because it's up in your head and you think it must be real. It must be true. But once you can differentiate the difference between a fact and a thought, which is optional, you can change everything. So the reason that I'm talking about this and the reason I'm going to be talking a lot about the model and how your mind works is because I'm going to start doing some free webinars on this also, where you're actually going to be able to see me, and I'm going to actually have a whiteboard, and I'm going to be showing you this over and over again to teach you. And I'm going to teach it to you for free because I think it's so important. So for today, this is where I'm going. We just came off Christmas, the holidays. And I don't know about you, but I can tell you from the people that I've talked to in many sessions and my clients, I have a lot of tired and very kind of hopeless people. And the reason that they're feeling hopeless or even tired or even exhausted, a lot of it has to do with what they're thinking about what happened. Now, I've talked to you a lot about the holidays prior to the holidays coming, about all the things that you could be thinking about it. And some of you maybe did think those thoughts, and maybe some of you didn't. But now you have a choice what you want to think afterwards. Some of my clients were very depressed when I talked to them on the phone because they didn't like what they did. And when they don't like what they did, when they think I did it wrong, or I did something wrong, or I messed it all up, or I'll never get this, or this will never work, because those are a lot of optional thoughts that are optional when you think about what happened during Christmas. So whatever happened during Christmas can be a fact. A fact about the holidays might be that you overate on Christmas. The fact may be, like from one of my clients, is there were homemade cookies in the house, and for some reason, those homemade cookies spoke to her, quote unquote, spoke to her. Not Oreos, because she doesn't care about Oreos. Those could stay in the pantry all day long. But they were homemade, is what they think. And because they're homemade, they needed to eat them. Now, that's already done. That's a fact. They ate the homemade cookies. We can make that a fact. So the only options available now, and we're talking about it because we're in the new year and we want to decide how we want this new year to go. So what do you want to take from what you've done during the holidays? What I tell my clients, and I should tell you too, if you've been following my podcast for a while and you've been doing a lot of the work and you've been working with me through the holidays, then the holidays are like a bonus package for you. And for all of my clients, I tell them you didn't pay any extra, but you got a bonus because you got the holidays. Now, why is that such a bonus? Because it just brings up everything. It shows you you. It shows you how you react to reality. You may like it and you may not like it. But what I want you to do is to become very curious about what happened, because this is the difference between curiosity and punishment. This is the difference between coaching and punishing yourself, because all the people that I've talked to since the holidays and I've coached, we've been able to turn around their optional thoughts to really help them learn what happened during the holidays, right? So that actually it makes them stronger in the new year, not weaker. So you don't want to come out of the holidays punishing yourself and telling yourself how terrible you were and how you're never going to do it again. And now you're going to start. That kind of thinking only leads to repeating the same thing throughout the year. This is the way I want you to look at it. I want you to actually look at what happened during the holidays, which is what I do with my clients, is that we look at the food journals and we look at where the overeating occurred and we look at what happened in their mind. Oh, it's so good. Oh, I'll never get it again. The homemade cookies, they only come these few weeks. I have a lot of clients with this homemade cookie thing. Homemade. It has to be homemade. That's what is creating the urge to overeat, right? It's homemade. So, we explored all of these thoughts together. We looked at them with curiosity. And when we were through, they realized that what they were thinking was creating feelings and actions and results that they didn't want, but they didn't see it, right? If they came into the new year just punishing themselves and just saying, okay, now I'm just going to start depriving myself. Now I'm just going to stop eating all of those foods. It actually creates the idea of wanting to eat more. So you don't want to come in punishing yourself. You want to come in with curiosity. And this is what I want to offer you this year. Not only do I want you to become curious about what you see when you don't like what you see, I want you to become curious so that you can learn and move on. And I've talked about this tool a lot, about learning and moving on. When something happens, especially overeating or eating foods that are not planned, joy foods especially that are not planned, when you're giving in to urges, they are opportunities to learn. Because this is the thing. Yes, I know you can all stay on a diet for a certain period of time, and then I know that the resistance happens and the willpower stops and it all goes to you know where. But when you're using curiosity, you actually get to learn from it so you can decide what you're going to do next time. But you want to be on to yourself because you all are really tricky. All of us, we're tricky. So this is what I want you to start thinking about. Becoming curious and then deciding this year how you want to not eat differently. I want you to decide how you're going to think differently about you and about what you do. And I want you to explore the options of becoming curious. So the thought is, my gosh, Deb, I wonder what's going on right now, right? That sounds very different than, you slob, look what you did again. You did it again. You've always done it. You'll never do it. You know what I'm talking about. That needs to stop. Curiosity needs to come in. Learning and moving on needs to come in. And then from there, organically, you can move forward with new thoughts and with new powerful questions. So this is what I want to leave you with today. I want to leave you with some new thoughts to think in the new year. And I also want to leave you with some questions for you to think about in the new year to give your brain something to do. And there's also something else I want to leave you with as we start the new year. How do you want to feel about yourself? I've got a lot of clients and I got a lot of listeners that really do want to hate themselves thin. They want to whip themselves. They want to make themselves feel terrible. And they think that's the way to a thinner body. And what I'm showing all of my clients and what I want you to be able to see clearly is that when you talk to yourself like that and treat yourself like that, all you get is more of the same. You don't get a person that wants to take better care of this precious human being. You get a person that wants to mistreat this precious human being even more because it's terrible, right? We tend to want to take as good a care of something as we care about it. We've got to care about ourselves. We have got to find a place where we can love ourselves unconditionally with exactly the way we look right now and exactly at the weight that we weigh. I know a lot of you want to start loving yourselves when you get down to that number, but the only way to get down to that number permanently is to start loving and appreciating and accepting yourself now. So a lot of the tools that I'm actually working with some of my clients is the appreciation tool. I know this is going to sound silly and trite, but it is so important. I want you to think about every day what you appreciate about yourself, what you love about yourself. I want that to be your question that you start with every day is, what can I appreciate about me today? What makes me me? I want your brain to start looking for it. And at the end of the day, I want you to come up with something that you appreciate about you, looking for the good in you. And I will tell you what, the more you find good in you, the more you will take good care of you. The punishment just doesn't work. My clients who are listening, you know this. My podcast listeners who have done many sessions with me, you need to know this. Feeling terrible about yourself, feeling horrible about yourself will not get you where you want. You can feel uncomfortable and get there. I'm not saying this is a comfortable journey, but you can't hate yourself. You got to know that you can feel discomfort and you can do hard things because you are worth it. Now, because I think that you are worth it, I am going to give you some powerful thoughts to try on for the new year. Now, what I mean by trying on is the only way you can adopt, I call it adopting, a new thought or create a new thought, and you've heard me say this many times in my podcast, is you have to believe it, right? So you can't look in the mirror and say to yourself, you are the most beautiful thing I've ever seen, if you don't believe it, because your brain's going to go, BS. But maybe what you can say to yourself is the only reason I don't see more beauty is because of what I think. That you may believe. And then the power isn't in changing how you look. It's changing on how you think. Because guess what? We see through our brain. We don't see through our eyes. This has been proven. This is a fact. How we think affects what we see. I think that's crazy, but it's true. So the better you can think about yourself, the better you're going to look to yourself, even though visually you are exactly the same. And this goes for your life too. The more you think differently about whatever your circumstances are, the more you're going to create a different life, even though everything in the fact line is the same. Because it's how you react. It's how you think. That's it. So here are some thoughts that I want you to think about for the new year. If you say it to yourself and you feel your body lighten up, or for me, I get chills, that's your body. That's your body compass going, yes, yes, I love that. And it will adopt it. It's like putting a piece of a puzzle into the brain. So here are some things to start looking at and replacing old thoughts with new thoughts, right? Accept the old thoughts, see them for what they are, see what they create. So you see the model. We call it an unintentional model. When you see what you're thinking, what it's creating in terms of a feeling, what it's creating in terms of an action, and what kind of result it's creating unintentionally. An unintentional thought is when your little primitive brain is just going for the first thing and it's running it. Now, an intentional thought are what I'm going to give you today. An intentional thought that you actually believe just as much, you just didn't think of it. That's like what a lot of my clients will say to me. I never thought of it that way. That's what a good coach does. Helps you think differently by seeing what you are thinking and what you are believing and what the options are. So here are some options. If you like them, go ahead. Try them on. All right, here we go. Everything I need is with me now. It's already done. It's way better than I can even imagine. And I really do love that thought. And I use it a lot when people ask me how I'm doing or how my life is. I'll say it's way better than I can even imagine. And you know what? It's so interesting that so much of the time, as soon as I say it, my brain immediately hooks into it and goes, yeah, it is. Because then I start looking for all the things that I couldn't imagine that they are actually here. It's amazing. I love that thought. And my husband always uses, I'm living the dream. And I'll tell you what, the more he says it, the more he believes it. And the more he believes it, the more he creates it. Right? Because it all starts up in the thought line. So here's some more thoughts. Everything happens in perfect timing. I create money with my thoughts. I create weight loss with my thoughts. Everything in my life happens for me. I love deeply, and those I love know it. When aligned in my thinking, what I want is seemingly effortless. Nothing has gone wrong. I am in perfect health. This is my perfect body to live my life. Everyone in my life is perfect and right on time. I can feel the unlimited abundance within me. The universe has got it covered, and I can relax. So, you might want to play this again and listen to those thoughts again. And if any of them resonate with you, I invite you to try them on and use them for a full week and see if something doesn't actually change for you. That's what I'm offering you in this new year. A way to create new intentional models in your life based on seeing the thinking, the unintentional thinking, your old thinking, which of course, sometimes the only way you can even see it is by being coached. I have to be honest about that. Sometimes when you're in your own brain, you just can't see it. And the reason I know that is because I coach so many people. They're believing everything they think, and they think they're facts, and they're not. But once you know, you can't not know. That's from one of my clients, and I love to use that quote. Once you know, you can't not know. So for today, and for the beginning of this new, beautiful year, where do you want to train your brain to go? I want you to really think about that. Now, if you want help, I'm here. I would love to talk to you. But I want you to know I have about 2 openings in my customized individual coaching sessions right now. So if you're interested, I would try to grab that by getting into a mini session as soon as possible. All you have to do is go to drdebbutler.com/work with me. You can sign up. And no matter what else you do, above and beyond everything else, you know what I'm going to say. I want you always, always, always to treat yourself as your most beloved and to be
very, very kind to yourself. And I will see you next week. Bye-bye.
If you're loving my podcast and you would like some more information to be able to follow along with, then please go to drdebbutler.com/change and you can get a free copy of my companion book that goes with this podcast that I refer to in many different episodes. That is drdebbutler.com/change. CHANGE.